Today we have Logan Toney from North Louisiana, and we will discuss ducks, boats, and the concern of public land on WMAs. Turkey season is just around the corner, and First Light has you covered. First Light makes it easy to find the right gear for the right pursuit. On the menu tab, click the Pursuit tab to find your next hunting gear easily. From hot southern states to the Rocky Mountains, visit firstlight.com today. Well, Logan, tell me how you got into hunting.
Well, as far as just all around hunting, my grandpa he was a huge part of that. My dad, um, obviously uncles, just typical typical North Louisiana guy like yourself. Just um, grew up into it, loved it. I mean, got bit for sure early. I mean, we say that a lot. Got bit, and a lot of people may not understand that, but it really does. It bites you in the butt, and that's it. That's all you want to do, man.
Well, what did y'all hunt first?
Deer mostly. My grandfather and of course my dad too. My grandfather just he is eat up with it. I mean, he is through and through die hard. He wants to shoot those deer, man. If the state of Louisiana would give him nuisance tags, I promise he'd fill every one of
He killed more deer than the cars, huh?
them. Absolutely, there's no doubt about it.
So when did you start getting into hunting? Early, 10, 11, 9?
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we got old Polaroid pictures down at the camp. Even before that, 8, 9. I'm sure. Uh, that's one thing. No matter what we did, we got in trouble at school. Got in trouble at the house, our chores, whatever. Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's how my grandfather was. We may got grounded from a lot of stuff. Couldn't do this, couldn't go there. But no matter what, if he was going to the camp, we got to go. Now, we got to go hunting. That was one privilege he always said he'd never take away from us. Uh, but it wasn't no hanging out, having fun. If we went hunting, we were in a stand. If we was in trouble, then we got out. We had to go sit on the couch. But he never did take hunting from us.
So I bet you wanted to hunt all day then.
Yes, sir, we did. There's no doubt about it. It made my mama mad, but she never did argue with him. We had to put in a little extra work when we were in trouble at the camp, but that was one thing he never took from us. It was, if you want to go, even if you don't want to go, I'm going. So now you got to go, and I really appreciated it. It really lit the fire under me for sure.
And I'm sure that his dad taught him how to do it the way he taught you and your dad.
Oh, absolutely.
So what kind of hunting and fishing do you do mostly?
Well, definitely primarily any sort of bird. Dove, turkey, love turkeys, ducks, obviously. I mean, we're eat up with it. That 60 days, man. I try and try and try, and I've been so lucky with my wife. Now been together a long time. I know it aggravates her sometimes because in the line of work we do, we got to go when we can go, and then used to it was work as much as I could because when November come, that was a wrap. So definitely bird hunting. I do deer hunt. My son now has taken a big liking to deer hunting, which he's 4. He really likes it. He likes deer hunting. He likes seeing all the deer. He loves when one comes out. He just about picks out to one and says, "Okay, Daddy, that's it. That's one we're gonna shoot." He's still a little young. I'm sure he's gonna follow suit. He's gonna like duck hunting too. He wants to go, but just the way we have to go and do, which the long river rides and running the timber and stuff. He's just a little too small for that right now. I really love squirrel hunting. Um, that's been a big thing. My dad was a huge squirrel man. Oh, he loves squirrel hunt. Squirrel hunt, rabbit hunt was his thing. Banner has taken a big liking to the squirrel woods, thanks to a good buddy of mine, Bo Hill. He's got a good little dog, and Banner loves chasing that dog.
Almost like you got two dogs chasing the squirrels, huh?
Absolutely. he tore out across the food plot down there in Gino at our deer camp. Uh, Dog struck up. I mean, just knew it. Ball, ball, just loud. Here comes Banner. Right, of course, he's behind us, little legs kicking. I'm coming, I'm coming. I hear you barking. He loves it.
And just getting him out, I mean, seeing everyday life that me and you get to enjoy. I mean, he's gonna be right there behind, Easton, and they're gonna be tearing the woods up.
It's nothing like it. And I've got to take, several guys now. I say guys, they're young, but still they're adult age. But I got to kind of show some younger people and take them. Had the chance to show them some stuff, and I'm grateful for that. But just this year, alone, as many times as me and you took Easton, of course, me and you are really good friends, so obviously I look out for him just like he's mine. Just watching him, I'm just thinking every day when I see him and much work as he puts in for as young as he is. Said, man, I cannot wait for Banner to be the next one and letting him kind of show what he's learned, to Banner as me and you are over there talking and let them conversate and really show him the ropes too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Easton probably went every time except for Oklahoma and probably that last 2 weeks. I mean, he's ate up with it. He didn't really have a good season. We all didn't really have a good season. But he got to see some birds that he usually don't get to see in the backyard. Your mallards and gadwall and geese. I mean, that's what he's been wanting to watch and see, and to be able to pick one up even though he didn't shoot it, that made his season right there. And I kept asking him if he wanted to go deer hunting. He said, "No, I want to go duck hunting."
I'm hoping Banner swaps over too when he gets to go, because I mean I love eating that deer. Don't get me wrong, that's fine eating, but that's just I'm not built for that. I shoot our deer just that because it's easy to take him. We can sit there. We got a nice piece of property. We're very lucky to have on lease down in Gina, Louisiana, and it's very easy to take him down there. And we get to sit, and it's overrun with deer. He loves watching them. Um, but I for sure when he gets to go, he's been dove hunting several times, and he likes that. Watching the doves, and he loves watching Waylon, my yellow lab. Loves watching him work, and he's learning. He's actually learning now how to, the commands instead of just go get it. When he was younger, he loves watching him work. So I'm hoping he gets bit with it, and I'm sure he will.
I don't really think he's got a choice. Not that we're gonna force it on him, but once he is able to, stand on the bank or in the boat or in the water, and then not have to be quiet the whole time and actually get to cut up a little bit, I think he's gonna be hooked.
Absolutely. Next year is gonna be his first year for sure. This year I was in between boats, so that was kind of limited to me a little bit until the second, I believe the second splits when I bought my new boat. So next year, definitely before it gets cold, I'm gonna take him a couple times.
So what kind of boat did you end up buying?
I went back with another Havoc. I had a Havoc last year, and the year before prior. I really loved it. Really loved it. Had very good luck out of them so far. I don't see that changing at all. I bought a 1756 MSTC Havoc with a GatorTail 40 on the back.
Elaborate on your thoughts on this GatorTail and Havoc. What does it mean to you to own a Havoc? I mean, I know you're rough on stuff. I mean, you had a small boat wreck last year in your other Havoc. Um, how durable are they, and will it make it through a season?
Well, to touch a little bit back on the Havoc, one, it means a whole lot more to me now because actually I say I bought it, which I did, but my lovely wife, Miss Megan Marie Toney, she actually pulled the trigger for me. I talked about it for a while, and finally she was just like, "Look, you deserve it. You work your butt off." So she's the one paying for my boat for me. So that means a little bit more to me than really even having it. Just the fact that she did that for me. So I really appreciate her for that. But as far as the Havoc, man, I love them. I mean, Yeah, touching a little bit on my boat wreck last year. It was a rough morning. It was right before some real nasty cold weather, sleeting that we were getting. Was nothing like this year, but it was nasty. I dropped some guys off just to touch on that story a little bit. Was going back to the boat ramp to pick somebody else up. You don't ever know what's under that water. I had a fast outboard on the back, built 59 inch. I mean, just a heck of a runner. It was a whole runner boat. It was a DB model, non-step transom, tough boat. One of the last years I made the 125 gauge hull, hit something in the water, jack plate kicked up perfect like it was supposed to. The only thing about it, when it did kick up, come back in the water, I was running about 3/4 throttle, somewhere around 45 ish. When it come back down in the water, I never let go of the throttle. So when it come down, it was at a 90-degree turn. And I know it's silly to say that some of these boats have turned too good. It did. I mean, as soon as the motor come back in, it made a 90-degree turn, and I went up on the bank. Luckily, there was no severe damage. I still know where the trees are, and I actually seen them this year. The first tree it hit, it knocked it clean over. It was about the size of a t-ball bat, and it cut it in two. The second tree, we lost some momentum. It took a good chunk out of it, but didn't knock it over. The third tree we hit, it was solid, Bubba. It was big and round as a basketball, and that's when I knew things got real serious. And then I ended up on the bank. It took a little dent in it. Not nothing. I thought for sure when I got out of the boat, was on the bank. I thought for sure that the nose of the boat was crumbled, and we were going to have to tow it back to the landing. Luckily, I had two really good friends of mine, my cousin Daniel, as you know, and Jonathan Malone. They were a couple hundred yards back behind me, still on the bank with the other boat. They made it down there. We pulled it off. I had a pretty good little baseball dent right in the corner of it where most of them get dented. Pulled it off the bank, started at 59 inch up, and I made tracks to the boat ramp. I mean, no issue. Didn't didn't affect the performance of it at all. And if I was ever going to be sold after that, I mean, there was nothing that could have sold me for sure after that moment.
Did you end up fixing that boat, or you sold it as is?
No, a really good friend of mine was wanting to get a boat, asked me about boats, knew that I had several so far, and I told him, I said, look, I said, take this boat out if you want to, ride it, see if it's what you like, because I bought it used. It was a used boat from old man in Arkansas. I said, take it out, use it, ride it, go fishing, just see, you know what I mean? Because I never got to really ride in any boats. I kind of impulse bought a few, and that's where I landed on my new Havoc. So I never really got to do that. And I thought, hey, if I could help somebody out and give him a shot and let him ride in it, see if he liked it or not. He come back the next day and said, hey, look, I need to know what you want. I want to have it. And I said, well, I don't really want to sell it, and I didn't have any plans on selling it. But the way the economy is nowadays, knew I was looking at a new boat. I cut him a really good deal on it, and after that, I did link back up with him, and we got plans. We're gonna fix it. He wants to get it repainted and everything, which the dent doesn't. I mean, even do anything for its performance factor of it, but he does want it fixed. So me and him are gonna uh, cut it apart and put a new bow cap on it and fix it for him. But I did sell it as is.
So what made you go with a gator tail instead of another outboard? Because whenever I bought mine, you told me over and over, don't buy a mud motor, you're gonna hate it. And then to turn right around and get one, what made you come to that decision? Was it being in mind and seeing how you used to have it and just impulse buying that way, or
Yeah, I do recall that, but um, I knew I wanted a 17-foot boat. I've had several 16-foot boats and liked them, but I wanted a 16-foot boat purely for the rating. for the people and everything. A little bit more room. We hunt a lot of rivers and stuff, so hauling a bunch of stuff long distances, that extra boat really helps out. Um, yes, me and you made a trip over to Washita River. We were hanging out, and I drove yours. I think, and it really kind of made me look at it again because the surface drives that I'd had, long tail, and then I had a 23 mini, uh, Go Devil, I believe it was. It was kind of Frankenstein together. Just, they're all loud, but tough to steer. Didn't really like the reverse in them. Only had one that had reverse to start with. That was a used Mud Buddy Sport V that I bought, and it got the job done. It was nice. It was wore out when I bought it, and that's where I was getting a lot of my. I don't like them. They're too slow. They don't carry a load. They're always tore up. But like me and you talked about before, that's not apples, oranges, oranges. We're talking about a new motor, you know, several years, 10 years almost of innovation really. Everything that the GatorTail has compared to what I did run, it really wasn't fair for me to say, hey, uh, I don't like the mud motors, And I'm gonna be honest, I do miss an outboard a lot of time. Um, Me and you hunt a certain WMA that is, I believe, just about right on the dot. 8.1 mile one way run. Obviously, it would be super nice to be hanging on to a tiller handle of an outboard to make that run. But then when we get there, you kind of SOL because you don't have a surface drive and you need one.
Right.
So yeah, that driving yours, especially, I believe you just got it or hadn't had it long at that point. That really changed my mind a lot. And then, really, honestly, even to the day that we bought the boat, I was not going to buy a GatorTail or a surface drive in general. It's not nothing against the GatorTail, just I wasn't going to buy a surface drive at all. Me and my wife went to Smith Motor Company's Hattiesburg, where you bought your boat, and I was going to buy a boat and a trailer. That was it.
Right.
I have a Mercury that I was going to put on it, and the one boat that I had settled on was a 1760, which is a newer model that Havoc come out with, the VJST. And I thought, that's it. I mean, that's gonna be my boat. It's got tons of room. It has a gun tray in it, no gun box, tons of open floor space. That's what I wanted. It's rated for a 70, a little bigger rating. I said that's what I do a lot of times is I'll haul stuff. So, somebody else runs in there and gets it and then, here comes Logan with all the gear. So that's what I had my mind made up on. And I really wanted a boat with a gun box but no gun tray, and that's what I ended up getting. And that was purely by circumstance. I mean, I just went over there, called before I got there. They run all the credit, did everything over the phone. Everything was done when we got there financially. We discussed some options, and the MSTC was sitting there on a trailer with a gun box and no gun tray. And I said, well, it's not even on the website. Like there's
Hmm.
not one in the country. I've looked at every dealer and can't find one in Bottomlands 1756 with a high deck gun box, no gun tray. And I said, you know what? That's the boat. Talked to some options, thought about some stuff. Really wanted the MSTC for the factor of I can take my motor off if I get tired of the Gator Tail or just simply want to swap it and put my outboard on it. So that's what really made me, now I have two options.
Right. And I know they took a little longer to put that motor on your boat at the time, but Smith Motor Company really made my experience enjoyable as well as far as I mean, all the paperwork was done when I got there. I mean, you just pretty much show up. If they have the motor already on the boat, I mean, you would literally show up, sign the papers, and leave. I think I was there 30 minutes, probably 20, and 10 of it was because they had to move two boats out the way to get to mine so I could back up into it.
Yeah, and it did take us a little time when we got there. Hour and a half, I believe, maybe hour and 45 minutes. We went and grabbed lunch and come back, and I mean, it was ready to go. You know, we had to finalize a few paperwork and stuff, but and that wasn't on them. That was on me for the most part, mainly because I was kind of giving the guy trouble back and forth because I knew what I was going to look at, and then I got there, and then I seen everything that they had because there's just a array of options they have. So I kind of flopped back and forth with him a little bit, and I kind of caused him a little extra time, but they didn't get frustrated. They wanted me to have what I wanted to have, and I have no complaints with them as far as uh, Smith Motor Company at all, for sure. And they had all my paperwork ready. They made it very simple. Uh, I really do appreciate them for sure.
I mean, I'm satisfied with mine. Mine does have the gun box and the gun tray, but uh, this was my first season with the boat as well as yours as far as your new boat. Two GatorTails. I think combined. What's yours got on it? I think I just rolled 60 on mine.
Yeah, I hit it hard this year. I got when I trailered my boat today. I'm sitting right at 79 hours, which is I talked to GatorTail the other day about a their maintenance, the oil change kits and everything, and the guy told me straight up, he was like, "Man, are you ready for a new grip handle on it?" And I said, "Sir." He said, "Are you ready for a new grip handle on it?" And I was like, uh, I don't guess so. Is that some new option or is that an upgrade that's going on or what?" He said, "No, I just figured you'd wore that one out by now."
And you called them, and that attests to GatorTail as a company. I actually had some motor trouble. I don't know what happened, but my reverse clutch came off as we're trying to hunt,
Yeah,
and
I heard that.
it made the most awful sound. But it was 2 days left until the split, and all I had was forward. Well, I was like, well, they did it like this for years, so I'm gonna run the last 2 days in forward. And called GatorTail, and actually the guy I talked to, working in South, I was working in South Louisiana. He asked me if I had my boat down here because he was gonna come over here to the campground and fix it on site. That's how good of customer service they have. But he ended up hooking me up with somebody local. Got it to him. Within a day, I was already picking it back up. So, I mean, GatorTail, as far as customer service goes, I- if there's one equal, it might be equal, but there's not one better.
Um, no, I have to fully agree with that. I haven't. I guess I should say, luckily, haven't had to do much dealing with them. Not that I don't want to, but you know that just means something's messed up on the most part of it. So I've been lucky in that aspect. But the couple times that I've talked to people, and even before I bought this boat, I called over there several times because you know me, I'm one of them people that I'm gonna call, I'm gonna get my facts, I'm gonna learn before I spend my money. I mean, Taylor, you know how we work, brother. It's out of town. We got to go get it and come home. So before I spend that dollar, I'm going to know what I'm putting my money into. And I'm going to have faith in what I'm putting my money into, or I'm not going to buy it. And I've talked to him several times, just called and said, "Hey, look, I had a mud motor before. What's the difference between this and this? You know, are you seeing better results with this?" And they've actually told me several times that I've called over there, "Hey, look, we had problems with this. We're upgrading it, to this model, this trim switch, this or that. And I think that says a lot about them too, that they're willing to tell you where, that they had an idea that didn't work out as good as they wanted it to, and they changed it instead of trying to hide it. I think that says a lot about them.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, I didn't know at first when I've never had a surface drive. Getting in it the first couple of times, how you have to trim up, trim down. set your prop and get it all right, level out, running. It did. It took me a minute. I wasn't used to that. I'm used to, hey, I'm putting the trim down and I'm going. So, but I don't know, probably within 5, 6 hours in, I mean, it pretty much is self-explanatory. But man, now that GatorTail is a great product. I was surprised at how good the prop actually survived, at least for me, because I hunted well, running in the marsh, and I hunted teal season. I mean, I'd look back and there'd be clamshells flying out of my rooster tail, and just didn't really get ate. I mean, it got ate up a little bit, but nothing concerning to where I would have to replace it, at least during the season. I probably will go ahead and replace it now that we're in the summertime, and then just keep that one in the boat with the extra prop nut as a backup.
Oh, absolutely. Uh, we can touch on several different things as far as that goes for sure. That's be a great conversation, and which between me and you, I mean, there's no telling. We could run phone batteries down talking about stuff. They get wore out. I mean, it's just the fact of the matter. They get wore out. Mine's wore down a little bit now. I can tell. I've lost a little bit of hole shot, and I've lost 1 mile an hour. Um, I got some dings and scratches, and but the thing about those props, man, any little change to that prop affects you big time. And outboard, you don't have that. But everything has its downfall, and a good prop on those motors is really the key.
Oh, 100%. But like you said, we could have a whole podcast just on props,
Oh,
probably.
absolutely.
But to get into the next conversation, everybody's got their own opinion, on how the duck season went this year. For your 25 season, how was it for you just personally? I know it had ups and downs. I mean, it got pretty decent toward the end, and but just your overall from if you teal hunted all the way up through the last week in January, how was it for you personally?
So I don't get out much during teal season. Not that I don't like teal season, but I'm a big dude. I sweat. It's hot. We're in North Louisiana. Snakes is out. Spiders are still out. Alligators are still out. So I just don't really waste too much time with that. As far as the season, man, we talked about this before, but the last 3 to 4 seasons, it has just got dramatically worse every year. And I'm grateful for going. We made great memories. Me and you've had great hunts this year, on several occasions. Obviously, we got a freak little ice storm. We shot ducks. I mean, it just happens. And it doesn't matter where the storm's coming from. It's coming out of the west or the east or south or north. The ice shows up and we kill ducks. We shot ducks every day. I mean, storm comes, the birds are going to try to move away from it. We shot ducks. But yeah, man, to get back on your question, it definitely it really it's just declining. I mean, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not just us. I know the going fad now is the crybabies, in the South, Louisiana, Mississippi. You guys are just crying. I would love to see some of you come down here and explain to me what's going on. You come put the days in and the hours in of the scouting and going, and it's not laziness. It's not. I mean, between me and you, there's no telling how many hours we put in. I would call you and be 2 3 hours from you, and then you're in one place and I'm in one place, and then we catch up at dark, try to make a game plan for the next day. That's not laziness. We're putting in the hours. We're scouting. It's just simply put that we don't get the ducks that we used to.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't us just going to the same spot every time. I mean, I really don't think but once we actually hunted the same spot 2 days in a row, which I mean that's what we've gotten to now, right? I mean, when the ducks come down, they're so educated from Canada to, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, wherever they're coming from, that I mean, you really once you bank them, you might as well just go find somewhere else. Now, if there's a lot of new birds in the area, that's one thing, right? But as far as being able to, hey, this is my spot, and only having two or three spots, you're going to need about 13, 14, 15 spots and probably different WMAs around the state, which, I mean, Louisiana is grateful that we have as many as we do. That was Easton's first season. So I think my standards were low as far as like, I just wanted him to get a duck that on those slow mornings, I was still good because he was good. I think it was a couple of hunts. Me and you, I didn't even load my gun when we shot those mallards. I didn't even have a bullet in my gun the whole hunt. And I know a couple of times you never picked your gun up off the tree because, we had other people and younger hunters that, I mean, it's not all about that to us. We just want to see people have a good time.
Absolutely. I recall, over at the river several days that, we had some friends from uh, down south come up with us, and we had Easton and one of our really good friends, Chief, his son, come up, Colby, and some of his family. They come up hunting with us, and just seeing him, man, he lights a fire under me like nobody's business. I know you can tell. Me and him joke and pick and play around, and I and we had some good hunts. I'm not harping on it all. It's just, and that's what I'm saying. I really agree with what you said. I think we're kind of getting humbled, and I believe that we're getting humbled right now, because I'm going to tell you, the seasons that I've had this year and last year, I wouldn't have told anybody that I even really hunted. And that's just the truth. I hate to be like that, but I'm used to putting in the leg work, and I'm used to killing them, and that just it's not happening anymore. Um, so I'm grateful for what we did have. I'm grateful for the time that we had and the memories that were made. So I think that made it a lot easier
Oh
as
yeah, I
well.
mean, anytime you're able to wake up, get to the hole, and actually watch that sunrise come up, I mean, that's just another blessing, right? And then, but like you said, I mean, we didn't have as many mallards as we usually have, which that's been a constant decline. We'll always have our wood ducks and our teal and those pesky gadwalls. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know it's weather. That's the number one benefactor in this whole deal. You can have all the food you want, but if it freezes 8 inches and they can't get to it, they got to come down.
Yeah, weather, and I think which that could be a whole nother topic for a 9 hour conversation too. But that weather, I mean, it's the number one driver. It always has been. That's why they have to migrate.
Oh, 100%. And to get into this little next topic, us as Louisiana, Louisiana as a whole, I mean, we got a lot of revenue that comes in, and I do not think that we're managing these WMAs to the best of our ability. I know they try and they do a great job, and if the budget ain't there, then they can't do nothing with it, right? But I listened to B Scott on his podcast about where all this money is being spent in Arkansas, and he brought up a lot of good points, but we don't have the habitat we did 5 years ago around here either.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's just before I get too terribly deep into it myself. I'm a man of facts, but I'm going to lead off with this is what I think. Louisiana, and I am proud to be from Louisiana. We do not take care of our WMAs like we need to. There's just that is a 100% fact. Now, if you want to argue why, we can argue why, but the fact is they are not taken care of.
I mean, take the one area that we hunted in the north. I mean, I got there, 10 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning, excuse me, and there were ducks flying everywhere. Me personally, I hunted this place from the time I really got started by myself. I mean, I solo hunted a lot when I was younger, and they have. I'm gonna say they because I've heard, you know, an organization did it, and I've heard the state did it. So I'm not really sure who did it. It might have been a combined. Uh, they pretty much went in and drained it and sprayed Roundup all over this place to kill the vegetation that was actually able to hide these birds. Well, now it's just a big open pond, with all them beans and stuff like that growing, but it actually harbored, safety for these ducks. Now there's nowhere for these ducks to hide, and they're landing out in the middle, and you just can't hunt them. I mean, they're landing in the middle with, coots or whatever, divers, and that's it. There's your hunt. I mean, it's more of a flyby at that point. Whereas in the past, you could wade out there and just find you a spot in a little open area, get up in some brush in the middle of this pond and hunt. And you cannot do that no more. And it's kind of sad because I love that place, but uh, a lot of people don't. A lot of people hate that place. I think it's all about perception and how you go about it too. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion about something, and I mean, I'm not gonna fight you for a spot. Maybe it's just this year, right? I mean, maybe they did it for a one-time thing, right? I mean, Roundup's Roundup, and it might have been something else that they used, but we like to use common terms in Louisiana, so
Yeah.
if it's a food grade, whatever, it's still Roundup to me.
Yeah.
But so what do you think Louisiana needs to do about getting these WMAs right?
Yeah. To touching on that, we've had a conversation before, and I've talked to a lot of people, and the thing is, we got to be heard, and that's another reason why I'm grateful talking to you on here. Maybe we can reach other people like this. I know that Arkansas is a big believer. I know a lot of guys there. They're a big believer in being to go to these all their committees and their conferences and everything. Uh, we're in the middle of trying to find out where that goes on, where are those held, you know, what's the schedule for these, we got some people looking into that for us. We need to be heard, man. That's the biggest thing is we just really need to be heard because we can talk about it all day long, but unless somebody's hearing us, it's not going to do any good. Um, I really want to touch on, and I really hate to get into this because I know it's the biggest thing right now, and it always comes back to, oh, well, you guys are just whining, blah blah blah. I really believe that 100% we are being hurt by these big clubs north of us, and not just the clubs. I mean, it's organizations that's made these big uh, flooded food sources for everything, and I'm with it and I'm against it. I'm with it because it's going to help the duck. I mean, it's feeding ducks. It's wintering ducks going back, to the prairie grounds, going back to where they need to go to the breeding grounds and nesting and everything. So I'm fully with it on one aspect, and I'm fully against it on another one because duck hunting has got so uh, commercialized that it almost feels wrong. Um,
It's
I mean,
definitely it's pay to play. I mean,
it
even
absolutely.
even if we're in our backyard, I mean, it's pay to play, right? I mean, it's always been expensive. I mean, it really has. But now you're talking about. I mean, even these guys in Arkansas, who would leave Arkansas to go hunt anywhere else? But with the with them not flooding areas up there anymore, to try to save some of the trees that I believe that they're logging some of them anyways, but um, it just don't make no sense. And we're spoiled, right? We've been spoiled for a while, but I don't see it stopping. Again, I'm torn because I don't want the government telling me what I can and can't do on my land, especially if it's like a farmer trying to make a living. I mean, they're the backbone of this country.
So, and touching on that, and yeah, I mean, we're talking about the topic. Everybody, anyone in the duck world knows. That's the topic right now. Senator Kennedy. just flat out went on a duck hunt. It was terrible. He started opening his eyes, went, "Hey, we need to make a movement." I I think we could have made movements and improvements here at home before we worried about them up north. And I may get shot down with our local homeboys here at the house, but I believe in what he's doing. I really think that I don't think I know. I mean, you can watch your own videos. I can name drop a whole bunch of people on the internet, but just go look into it. Uh, it's people saying, when this really happened, you know, we didn't have birds in these areas. Now we're making these flooded corn acreages and all this stuff, and now we have birds we never had before. Well, when they started having birds they never had before, because now they got all this land up north of us that has all these hundreds of thousands of acres of flooded corn and all these big habitats and all these organizations that they do have now. Well, they quit coming here. Well, you're getting them now, and they're not here now. That's just a fact that it changed the migration. I mean,
Uh,
that's just a simple fact. I mean, if you never had them, now you have them, and we don't have them. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. But like I said, two, I'm never, ever, ever gonna advocate and say Logan Toney is the biggest advocator for giving the government more power to tell us what we can do. So I don't like that aspect. As much as I would love to see them have to get out and grind and do what we do, instead of having 200, 300,000, 50,000 acres, 5,000 acres, 200 acres, 80 acres of flooded corn here and there. You know, if it is your land, you should be able to do what you want to do with it. As long as this falls under the law, you should be able to do what you need and want to do with it. But I really believe, and I stand behind this no matter who agrees with it, and it is my opinion, and I do have some facts to back it up. We could have spent the effort and time that we are pushing and worrying about what's going on up there with their corn and their rice and their beans and just their pure flooded and unharvested crop for ducks, whatever the crop is. I really believe we could have put that effort into our own homeland, and it could have been better used, in my opinion. And I really wish I could sit down. If I could ever been face to face with Mr. John Kennedy, I'd tell him 100%. Listen, I like what you're doing. I have my flaws against it, but if we put this in, why can't we put this effort into trying to get them to change up north, and everybody follow suit with, I mean, 10 places, man, that hasn't had water, hasn't had any upkeeping, some that you can't even access with a four wheeler because it'll tear your four wheeler up now. And hasn't seen a single bird in years. 3 or 4 years, some of these places hasn't had water on them. That's what
yeah,
we. That's what I really think we need to. If he would tell me, or if anyone would tell me, hey, we'll listen to you, and we won't do anything else, I'd tell them to drop the whole act up north. Let them do what they're doing. Let's fix us first, and then if we don't have something go our way, then we need to worry about something else.
yeah. I think one of the biggest, which, in my opinion, weather's going to dictate a lot of things, because if the birds don't have to come down, they're not coming down. But besides weather, Louisiana has gotten away a lot from rice. It's a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
sugar cane down south, where there was normally there was rice, and now it's sugar cane because of the agriculture, right? So I mean, those ducks aren't able to eat. I mean, they don't eat sugar cane. Mountain Ops has been a part of our crew from the beginning. Ignite is our go-to for energy. Ignite delivers smooth, long-lasting, great-tasting energy and improves cognitive function for hours, providing a clean and healthy energy alternative to help you conquer the day. Jumpstart your day anytime you need a boost. The Operation Conquer Hunger team works with charity partners. Every time a purchase is made, a nutritious meal is prepared for families in need. Visit mountainops.com today to order yours.